Think they're gonna keep her though? How long is this
She
transfusion?
just getting, it should be more than 3 hours, probably
3 hours.
2 to 3 hours at the most, 2 hours at the most.
Grandmother platelets were low. Had to take her to the hospital. So just seeing what's on my timeline. Nene over here smoking. She getting high. I'm already high. Got a nice buzz. Should take my blood pressure medicine. I think I can hold off. I don't feel like tasting pills right now. Let's see what's going on. This timeline here. Red and the Black doesn't have any pictures. It's just the voice and whatever I'm playing over this motherfucking computer. Let's see what's going on today. Let's see what Tori and Rain talking about.
So Bespoke Post, they just send you a cool box every month.
Wow, this is good, awesome. Before I get started with this article, I have to give a huge shout out to Crave Fashions 41 on Instagram for sending me this story. And when I saw this, I said, I definitely have to speak about this because it's going to put something into perspective when it comes to not only the Asian American community, but just Asians in general who live in America. And it's always this narrative that they are extremely intelligent. Now, granted, I'm not saying that they're all dumb or that they're not all intelligent, but the narrative is being pushed that they are all, or it's a stereotype that they're all smart. You'll even hear from some Asians that say that that's nothing but a stereotype. And I believe this article that was sent to me is actually going to back that up. So the title of the article is Asian Americans in elite colleges would drop 21% if admissions was only based on tests. So if they eliminated standardized testing, like, or SATs and ACTs and scores like that, they said 21% of the Asian population in these elite schools, such as Harvard, like it says on this woman's sign, would drop. And that's not at just one school, but that's at a collective of all those elite schools, like your Harvards, your Browns, your Yales, and all those schools, those Ivy League schools. And when you think about it, I don't think it's that many Ivy League schools. So 21% is a pretty big margin, especially also since the Asian American community is a relatively small community. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this article. Nearly a quarter of Asian Americans accepted to elite colleges would no longer qualify if their acceptances were based on tests alone, according to a new report from the Georgetown University Center on Education and Workforce. So basically what it's also saying is that their test scores are not that great compared to other groups of people. The study, which ran statistical simulations of admission decisions, found no strong evidence of discrimination against Asian Americans in 91 of the country's most selective colleges and universities. So they can't come back and say, oh, they didn't get in because they didn't meet a quota. Truth be told, some of them probably got in because of a quota. While Asian American enrollment in these institutions has remained stagnant over the past decade, the proportion of Asian American students who receive high test scores has also remained remarkably consistent. If standardized test scores were the only factor evaluated in admissions, 21% of Asian American students attending these institutions would be displaced, along with 39% of non-Asian American students. That's interesting. That's almost 60% of students in total. A test-only admissions system would also only increase Asian American enrollment by up to 2%, a marginal gain, according to Georgetown University's CEW. The study comes as Asian Americans continue to be divided on the subject of affirmative action in colleges and universities. And I was getting ready to mention that, but they brought it up. Students for Fair Admissions, or SFFA, which claims that Asian American applicants are discriminated against during admissions, has sued several institutions in recent years, most notably Harvard University, which would explain this woman's sign right here. The case against Harvard has reached the Supreme Court, which postponed action in June and asked for the Biden administration to weigh in.
What?
Georgetown University CEW has claimed that since the number of seats at Harvard is relatively stable, Asian American and Pacific Islander applicants' chances of studying at Harvard would decrease more quickly than those of the general population if said applicants were disproportionately excluded from Harvard as their total enrollment at four-year colleges doubled. That was a very interesting read. It was a short read. It kind of just got straight to the point. So all in all, it's saying that if they were to take out test scores or standardized test scores, a lot of people who are in the Asian American community wouldn't even be getting into these schools if they just had to rely on test scores for entry alone. So basically, it's also saying that their test scores aren't the greatest. I'm not going to say that it's the worst, but they're not the greatest either. And it also goes against that stereotype that all of them are extremely smart. Like I said, some Asians would even tell you that's a stereotype. Yeah. Like I said, there's intelligence and ignorance in every ethnicity. But I'm glad they mentioned that part about the affirmative action, because that's the same complaint that white people love to use too. Remember that Weasley-looking chick down in Texas? And hers was because of her test scores wasn't good, and she tried to blame it on affirmative action. You know what's so crazy? Black people are like the only group of people that would not blame something like this on affirmative action. Affirmative action was supposed to be for us. Go figure. But it seems that it works for everybody else, especially white women, the most. I'm like, if you can't get in on affirmative action, you're a white woman, then what's your use? But it is what it is. But I thought that this was just something very interesting to bring up. Some of you probably were well aware of this, and some of you probably did not know. But, I felt like I had to mention it because, this is something mainstream media is not going to talk on. And if they do, it's going to be very brief.
Hey, it's Danielle.
Not a lot on the timeline right now. How many ringtones that motherfucker got?
No, that was the ringtone. I was trying to put it back to where it rang.
Ain't nothing good on the timeline. Wow, let's see what this bunker just had one. Let's see what's going on.
Idris Elba has taken to Instagram to share his feelings behind negative online rhetoric. In a recent IG post, the actor argues that everybody on social media, even those not in the public eye, should be verified. Elba believes that verifying social media users would fix the problem of cowards who spout racial rhetoric behind their usernames. I get his point. I get so many people out here that are keyboard warriors, that are gangster on social media, but when you see them in the streets, they have nothing to say. They are cowards. They are mean. They are violent. They are abusive. I just don't know if it's practical to verify everybody. And it also doesn't allow people who have legitimate reasons to be anonymous, legitimate violence that's visited upon them, legitimate reasons why they may want to be somebody else online. It could be an escape. And I don't want to take that away from people just because we get some hard attacks on us, particularly people in the public eye. You're full of surprises, boy. Yeah, full of surprises. So, Idris Elba called for everyone on social media to be verified. And Mark Lamont Hill said, despite some of the intense trolling he is the victim of, does not agree. Agrees that some people should be able to keep their privacy. So, Mark Lamont Hill, when you're wrong, I'm quick to do an episode about you. So, now that you're right, I guess I can give you the credit for that too. Round of applause. Well, not a round, but at least one applaud. Okay, now back to your bullshit. And Idris Elba, shut the fuck up.
Jackpot. Yeah. Oh, somebody hot, huh? The hot flash is fucking you up. I turned the air on, don't worry. I got you.
Who the fuck is that?
I think that was a... Oh, who the fuck is that?
Your bell didn't come on.
No.
Was that the doorbell?
I think so. There's a car out here.
That's next door.
Oh, then ain't nobody there. No, ain't no here. The doorbell right here. No.
Oh, what the fuck am I hearing? Didn't you hear that too?
I heard it, but you know she's watching TV upstairs. Ain't no telling what Darlene's watching. Sounded like a doorbell. And the phone and shit. We got doorbells, phone.
This bitch still ain't done.
Let me see.
Hello?
Let me see.
Hello? The fuck? Hello? Hello?
I don't think they're there, babe.
That wasn't nobody.
More than robocalls.
Yeah.
All right, so I got the air on. It's gonna go down to about 76. That should cool you off a little bit, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna smoke these joints. I can get that. I don't give a fuck attitude. Relax. Yeah, that's it. Bad anyway, too.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. It's not.
You got weed up? No, listen, never mind. I'm tired just.
You be all right.
Well,